Episode 9, the finale. Whose show is this? Let's review this, man. What's good, guys? Your boy Hugo the Savage back again for another review. You've seen the title of the video. It is the finale. And I don't know. I don't know what I just watched, and I don't know how I feel. And I'm a bit confused. And yeah, I'm a bit indifferent. So let's get straight into this. So episode 9. So this episode kicks off with callback to the Hulk from the late 80s, early 90s. That kind of style, but for this intro, and I loved that. I thought that was a great callback and a great tribute to the previous TV show of Hulk. And I honestly loved everything about that. It was about 2 minutes of intro. They filmed it perfect. Everybody looked great. Even the fact that within that tribute, they didn't have CGI Hulk. They had a painted Hulk. It's scary as hell though. I don't know who that woman is, or if it's a man playing Hulk as a woman, as She-Hulk. But that is the scariest thing I've ever seen. So yeah, kick off this episode. Jen Walters has been locked up by the Department of Damage Control, just like Emil Blonsky had been locked up, so she's in the same kind of chamber. And then yeah, we pretty much find out in this episode that the intelligentsia, there's a hate campaign. Jen's friends are trying to help her out, so they go through to find out where they're having a meeting, this hate campaign behind intelligentsia, and they send Porg in there to infiltrate. And when he gets in there, he finds out that I think the guy's name is Todd, which is the guy from the previous episode she went on the Tinder date with, the one who said he was a movie producer and was obsessed with her a little bit. He's hulking. He's the guy who's hulking the whole time. And then we get Emil Blonsky as Abomination come into the room, and he's basically he's a speaker at the event. We find out after that he says that he does it for just profit, but it's a bit weird. And basically we get all this conclusion of all these different characters popping back in. Titania bursts through the wall. Jen Walters goes downstairs in the retreat place and then finds out that what's going on. She's in there, and then Hulk drops in as well. When he drops in, he sees that Abomination's got Jen in his hand, which is actually protecting Jen from all the weird, nerdy, crazy geeks in there. But he thinks, so they're about to start fighting, and then Jen breaks the fourth wall and kind of says, I didn't see the season going this way. Now at that current stage, if anyone was watching it, probably we all thought the same thing. What the hell is going on? This is the most clunky clusterfuck of a finale we've ever seen. And then she breaks the fourth wall, like she leaves the show. She comes out into the Disney Plus menu, breaks out, goes into the Marvel Assemble show, and then she ends up in the Marvel Studios in real life. Now, this is the part I'm talking about a lot, because there was something genius about it, but at the same time, the way this show has gone so far and it's been hit and miss, it all felt a bit... I was kind of conscious of it taking up time. Once you see the runtime for the show is about 38 minutes, and you see that she's left the show to change the ending, I was conscious of the runtime, and I was like, by the time she gets out of this, there's nothing's going to happen. So she goes to the writer's creative room, has a word with him, kind of says like, you're just giving us the generic ending to all Marvel shows you give us and stuff like that. And then she wants to speak to Kevin Feige, so she goes through the Marvel Studios to find Kevin Feige, beats up a few security guards, gets to the door, gets into this special Marvel room where they're playing all the movies around, and then you've come to find out that Kevin Feige in this is not the regular Kevin Feige. It's almost like MODOK. It's like an operating system, and Kevin is an abbreviation for another word. And I kind of enjoyed the interaction between Jen Walters and Kevin the Machine. I kind of like that part, because basically what they did was they took everything that people complained about on the internet about Marvel TV programs and movies, addressed it in a comical way, and then had Jen being the voice of us and saying to Kevin, why would you keep doing this, and why does it have to do that, and why do all the Marvel guys have daddy issues in terms of not Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Loki. She kind of said like, where's X-Men, and then kind of broke the fourth wall and looked at us, which was kind of a cool part. There were some cool bits in there. She went in there with She-Hulk, and at one point Kevin said, listen, I'll speak to you, but can you go back to Jen Walters? And then when she said why, she said because you're too expensive, which is obviously, I don't think this episode 9 had been finished the whole time. I think they had done the first part, and when they saw how crazy the internet had gone, how misogynistic some parts and how like outraged people were about certain things, they're like, okay, we're going to keep incorporating these jokes into the... To go back to Jen Walters, you're too expensive. The CGI team have moved on to other things. And then they played the Black Panther drum, which was cool. When she fixed it and kind of said to Kevin, then he kind of started deleting stuff from the show, so he deleted the fact that Todd, because Todd at one point, what I didn't mention, he had turned into his own Hulk. He had took her blood from what we had seen referenced before, put it in himself, and he turned into a weird, like Hulk character. When they left that and went back to the show, this is the issue I had, because like I said, I was conscious of the runtime. When they got back to the show, Todd was already arrested. She also asked Kevin Feige for a bit more Daredevil when she was having a conversation with him. But then Daredevil drops out the sky, and it's too late for everything, and he's a bit miffed that he wasn't able to join in and everything. That's kind of it. So as you see, everything I just explained, nothing happened in this episode. The fun part was her breaking the fourth wall and going through the studios, but nothing happened. So it feels like 8 episodes have been wasted on... Put it this way, everything what happened prior to this episode doesn't mean anything at all. Apart from the fact that we know that they're Daredevil, because we needed an intro for him. Nothing means anything. It's a waste of time. And that's why I'm wondering, did they change stuff in this? Because it'd be a lot easier for them to use the Marvel Studios than use all the CGI in the show. Did they change all of this when they saw the outrage around episode 3 or 4? The next scene from there, we go on to Jen in a parent's back garden. They're in the back garden having barbecue, kind of like Fast and Furious. You know, it always finishes with family and all that. Daredevil's there because he's staying for another week, and the parents are talking to them about him and Jen having babies, which is quite funny. Hulk turns up and he's like, hey, blah, 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 I'll have to explain what I've been doing to Sakaar, but for now, I'd like to meet someone. Then Hulk's son walks out, Scar. And I've never been so underwhelmed about a character in my life. For somebody as big as Hulk, who is one of the most popular superheroes ever to grace Earth, he's literally probably top 5, I'm thinking, along with Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. He's probably 4th. I've never been so disappointed in my life. I didn't care because you know, there was no point. We got a reference earlier when Jen was speaking to Kevin saying that when he was about to mention we've got things planned, we need to tell what Hulk's been doing. She said forget about it. We'll explain it in the movie. So it kind of gave us an Easter egg to say that Hulk's gonna have his own movie. But honestly, that part for me with his son didn't stick at all. I'd rather him just finish with the barbecue with no Hulk coming to the barbecue or anything like. Because I don't get it. Like, I'm not going to complain about... I know a lot of people will probably complain about the fourth wall breaking and going into the studio and stuff. And I think what they haven't taken into account with some things is, if you read the She-Hulk comics, she does that in the comics. She leaves... Like, you can turn the page and she's broken the fourth wall in a comic. It's a weird thing how they created it, but it's cool. But casual fans who didn't read the comic don't know about that. So for them, it's probably like, what the hell's going on? You've just wasted our time with the previous 8 episodes. But his son looked... I've seen people online saying he looks great in that, and that's everyone's opinion. I have no problem with that. To me, he looks stupid. His haircut looks stupid. And I used to watch the cartoon, with World War Hulk cartoon. I loved it with it. But I just... So we're going to have to wait for a Hulk movie, which is going to... He's not even in the timeline at the moment. By the time we get to that, his time on Sakaar would have been Ragnarok, which was 2018? 19? Just before Infinity War. So... By the time we get to that, it's going to be like, I don't care about your explanation. I don't care about who his mum is. I don't understand why he's green. Like, I don't, like, why have you called him Scar when your name's Bruce? Like, you're an American. There's no reason for you to give him that name. Who's his mum? Who decided to have sex with a Hulk? I don't know. What I will say is, there was parts in it what I enjoyed. And I was very intrigued about when she was speaking to Kevin Feige, but at the same time, it was a bit average, and I don't think the landing sticks very much. I won't watch it again, and if they don't make a season 2, I won't care. If they make a season 2, I would hope that they can improve. I think the only way I would like to see anything else from She-Hulk is the fact that I like the characters. So, in all fairness to the actors, they were all great. I didn't see any bad acting in this, it's just that the writing wasn't the best, because I think what's her name, Tatiana Maslany. I think she's been great as She-Hulk. I actually think she's really, really dope, and I'd love to see her in future Avengers movies or anything like that with great CGI and fixed her. And I remember the whole old Thanos, when he was using the post-credit scene, looked weirdly purple and stuff like that, and then they fixed him, Josh Brolin's brain, Thanos, and it looked completely different. So you can sort stuff out. I'd love to see her back, and I love her friends as well. Porg, I keep forgetting the lady's name, but she's dope. The one who looks like she could be like Nicole Scherzinger's mom or something like that. Her, she got that kind of face. But yeah, I like all of them. I like all these characters. The Abomination thing was the post-credit scene where Wong came back into the prison and broke him out again. And it was just them talking about Wi-Fi and stuff like that. I'm beginning to think that Wong's building his own team together now, because he's spoke to the Shang-Chi lot already. He spoke to Abomination. He spoke to America Chavez, and she works with him. So it feels like instead of Thunderbolts, it's going to be a team for Wong as well. But yeah, I can't say like I didn't hate it. And I enjoyed myself in certain parts. The comedy never really sticks in this program though. For something what is a comedy, it doesn't stick very well. There's an odd chuckle here or there, but the fact that the Daredevil episode to me is the best, and he came in episode 8, is telling you something. But we'll see what comes forward. I'm not a whinger, you know what I mean? Everything ain't going to stick and everything ain't going to be to my liking. I guess with the ending, well, the middle of the end and the final episode probably made it better than Miss Marvel. If it didn't, if the last episode never happened, this would be the worst one out of all the shows for me. So, yeah, hopefully they do better. I don't want them to listen to the fans who are moaning constantly, but I think the constructive criticism from fans is good to listen to and take on board. But I don't, you know what I mean? Because if you keep people who keep moaning and saying stuff are woke and it's all women and all this business, they're just gonna go against what you're saying. It felt like this episode was an ode to trolls, bro. It felt like for all the trolls who were moaning about stuff, they're just gonna let you know that we're not changing, and it's fine. Just don't force stuff in people's throat. Don't force anything. Make it great writing. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But here's what it is. I've been your boy Hugo Savage. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. That's the end of She-Hulk. I don't know what's next. Can't be worse though.